Hey, what's up, guys? So let's jump right into it. These are the 4 phases of what people usually go through when they're trying to get hired in the fire service. So let's break it down phase by phase. So like in the video I said there is number 1, the Phase 1, the ghost zone. Sounds scary, and yes, it is a little bit, because in this zone here, we're not really getting much attention here. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna show you what the zone is and where it leads to at the end of it. So in Phase 1, the ghost zone, this is where we're getting pretty much no interviews, no movement whatsoever, and we're not really sure when we're applying if anyone's even hearing us. We're not hearing anything back, and it feels like we're just getting ghosted, right? And we're using essentially an outdated playbook when we're applying here. So this is usually what I see guys falling into when they're saying, yeah, I'm talking to retired chiefs. I'm talking to some firefighter that got hired in 2015, and he's not really giving me all this information. I go talk to him and he's like, yeah, man, try this, try that kind of thing. And it worked back then, maybe. And even when you talk to some of these guys, they'll say to you, it's like, I don't really know how I got hired. I just kind of did. So they don't really know how to help you replicate it. So that's the phase that I was in here for about 2 years, just stuck there saying, okay, if I just keep applying, and applying something, eventually I'm going to break through, right? Like, because people tell you that whole narrative, hey, just keep going, and eventually someone will call your name. Not necessarily the truth if we're doing the wrong things over and over. It's kind of like if we're at the gym and we're trying to lose, I don't know, like 100 pounds, right? And we're working out wrong, and we're not having our nutrition in line. And it's like the guy saying, well, just keep doing that for the next year, see what happens. You lose no weight. Well, do it for another year, see what happens. Eventually you'll break through. If the diet's off and the exercise routine is off, you're not gonna lose weight. Science does not discriminate towards anybody. Same thing in the fire service. If you're doing the wrong things, you're not gonna break on through. It took me 2 years to learn that lesson. Hopefully this video can help you learn that lesson a little bit earlier. So where does this lead at the end of the day? Let's go over here, and let me take these off here. And this leads to about 1 to 2 years of time under your belt there, and then it leads to money, because during this time you're going for OFAI, during this time you're trying to get an extra course here, maybe getting a resume done there, whatever it is, spending money to get there. And I see a lot of guys, unfortunately, after this 1 to 2 year phase, they just throw their hands up and say, hey, it's not working, so they quit. They go work back at their dad's company or whatever part-time job they had before. So that's phase number 1, the ghost zone. Phase number 2, if we move up the staircase here, we're gonna get to what's called the hope loop. Okay, so what is the hope loop here? Let's look into this. So hope loop is about the next 1 to 2 years after this, where I was stuck for another 1 to 2 years. And now what they do here is they overthink interviews, because they might get 1 to 2 interviews that year. Right? So I remember I was here as well, and it was like, I was roughly after COVID, and I thought to myself, okay, like no one's hiring, so I don't really got to prepare for interviews. I got an interview, Toronto, failed that interview because I had no idea what I was doing. So you get 1 or 2 interviews, don't really know what you're doing. The interviews are few and far between. So it's like when we get one, we're like, oh, wow. And we get so excited. We anticipate it. We dream about it. We tell our family and our friends. And we're just so nervous about this thing that when we go into the room with the chiefs, lieutenants, we know what happens. We start rambling, we go off in different directions, and we pretty much botch the interview because we just simply don't know what to do in that interview, and we were so excited about this one opportunity. It's kind of like if you get a date with like that beautiful girl that you wanted to go out with, and you're just so nervous beforehand that you don't know what to say when you're on the date, and we know how that goes, right? So they don't get the job, and they just didn't prepare for the interview properly. Had they prepared and not had the nerves backing them, because the interviews were not so far and few between, yeah, they could have gone on to get hired there. But where does this usually lead as well? Let's go over here, and we're gonna see where it leads. See, more years, they're at the 2 to 4 year point there, more money, because in that time to get to this point, they said, I gotta go take this extra course that retired chief told them to take. I gotta take this extra whatever over this, maybe change this extra course over here, like trench rescue, because some firefighter told them to do that, even though that's ridiculous. You can't learn trench rescue in literally a weekend course. So they spend a ton of money doing this and a ton of time. They're at the 2 to 4 year points. No one wants to be there. They go up the staircase now, phase 3. Okay, we're getting closer, but what's this? This is the interview waster. Bro, I was here for about a year, from what I remember properly. So now they're getting interviews more consistently. So the interviews are not few and far between. So the nerves are not like, oh man, like interview. It's like, okay, I got an interview coming up. Cool, but what do? They throw away the interview because they cannot pass interviews. Now, they think to themselves this thing of like, okay, say I get like, I don't know, 5 interviews. I'm gonna pass one eventually, right? 10 interviews, I'm gonna pass one eventually just by luck of the draw. And when they're doing this, again, they're playing a game where they think if they just hit the stone so many times, it's eventually going to crack. And yeah, if we do that, maybe one will out of 10, right? And we get lucky at a certain point. But if we don't want to bank on luck, then we have to go and figure out a way to pass these interviews effectively. Because usually what that person will do, they have 5 or 10 interviews. By the end of that, they'll start to pass the interviews on like the 8th or 9th or 10th interview. The first 7 were just gone. Like the 7 opportunities in front of them are gone. So they could have had the job that they wanted had that been in the first 7, or maybe in somewhere in there, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and had options ahead of time. This can take a year, maybe more, going through this process as well. So if we have opportunities in front of us, the worst thing you can do is throw them away because of ego or something like that, saying, I can pass this on my own. I don't need help. I can figure this out. I was caught in that ego loop for, again, about a year, and it was not good at all. So where does that lead? Well, let's go over here and we see where it leads once again. More years with the 4 to 5 year point, even more money because you're just throwing money at the wall, left, right, and center. How do I take this extra course? How do I take, maybe I got to move away to go get this job over here, this volunteer experience, whatever it might be, thousands of dollars on more and more courses, but also resumes and all this stuff. I think at this point, I was roughly at 30 to 40K. And that's usually the point where you're going to be at when you're at the 4 to 5, because you're spending roughly about $1,000, sorry, not 1,000. You're spending about like 5 to 10,000 a year just trying to, what do I take? What do I do? What course? Where do I go? What do I do next? If you're not willing to give up, then yeah, you're going to be throwing paper at the wall, not knowing what's going to stick. So at that point, you want to finally pass these interviews, man. So what happens then? So this is phase 4, the top 10%, what I call it. And this right here is you have a system set in place. You have a system that's designed to help you get interviews. You have a system that's designed to help you pass interviews, a system that's designed to essentially get you this job at the end of the day. And there's no more guessing attached to this. As a result, you are getting jobs. You're getting emails that say, here's your conditional job offer. 2 weeks after your interview, you're messaging your friends and telling your family, I got another one. I have options now under my belt. You get to go to your girlfriend or your wife or whoever and say, hey, honey, where do you want to live? What's best for our family? What move should we make now to optimize our future? Because I gave our family options like a provider and a protector. We can work here, we can work there, we can move provinces if we want to, based on housing prices, wherever you want to go. Toronto's a mess right now in terms of housing prices or whatever it might be. So you can move further up north or wherever you want. And that's the beauty of having this top 10 phase here, where we have a system, we're optimized. So now we look at what you get here, and yes. Like I said, you're hired with options. And this is the spot that I assume everybody wants to be at, right? And we want to get there as soon as possible. But the thing is, going through all of these loops here and all these phases here, when you don't want to reach out for help, yeah, you go through 2 years of the first phase, 2 years of the next one, a year of the phase 3, and then finally at that like 6-year point, you start to break on through, right? But the better option for people to go down would be, and what option I wish I went down at the beginning, was in phase 1, stop doing this right away. Stop going in loops here and just skip ahead to phase 4, skipping ahead past all of these failed interviews, this lost hope, whatever it might be. Get a system in place from the jump that I can actually optimize myself as a candidate on paper to get interviews, and optimize myself in that interview room so I can go on to get jobs, to give my family options, and save myself, yes, a ton of time and a ton of money in the process, okay? So if you're one of those individuals that wants help for that and you actually want to skip past all of those phases, I got you. Simply go onto my Instagram page at Joe Motivational, look through my page, look through all my stuff there, and if you want a system set in place to help you go on to get hired in relatively about a year or year and a half, depending how hard you're willing to push for this, go into my DMs and message me the word FIRE to start. Let me know you watched this video. Let me know that this resonated with you. I'll ask you a few questions, see where you're at, and if we're a good fit, we'll get you going. All right, guys, DM the word FIRE to get started. Thanks, guys.